The sighting was brief, yet for a moment the camera focused on Barron, Lord Barron as we used to call him at the shelter. For all I know, it was someone else's kid, yet the mere fact he looked like he was clapping his hands for the first time only made me come to the conclusion that the dunce was the child of Trumpez. How sneaky of him to slam us with so many changes. I missed the renaming of Denali. Now, what can I say about those spineless Democrats with the lowered limb bars of snails who failed to walk out in solidarity with 77-year-old Al Green? Nancy weeping and taking it like an absolute mouse and a weakling instead of storming out in disgust. Elizabeth Warren sealing the deal as Trumpo called her Pocahontas, and she responded by clapping and smiling like an utter coward. The human will to stand up for injustice is effectively being drained, if that's the goal of Elon, who paid $60,000 for a hair transplant and thinks creepy 20-year-olds should hold more power than military generals. The ideology of it all is completely fucking mental. Trumpo is a man at war with the elderly, the very folks who built that New York City skyline he spoke of, not to mention many American Indians. The farce that America built its own rail line is about as blasphemous as the flat earth theory. Cuts to Medicaid will directly impact nursing homes. It will remove life-giving medications from children. Trump is urging this bill to be passed. From what I saw tonight, I don't see a tap dancing hell that it won't be. The reality of it all is horrifying. The man is a maniac, opening up my people's land to both foreign and domestic investors like it's a country club buffet. The current new trends in weather have some conspiracy theorists convinced weather manipulation is at play. It cannot be denied in certain areas of the country we are seeing man-made cloud-forming technologies, as well as the eerie reality that many northern lights were seen across the world in places they should not have been, nor having ever appeared there, the first day HAARP began testing its equipment. In all reality, the biggest threat to our weather is not these devices. The reality is that for some time now, the Atlantic current has slowly began leaning towards shifting backwards. This reality is largely unspoken of and ignored by right-wing owned clownhouse media outlets. For me, the cherry on top is the address was the look of utter disgust on the generals' faces, watching some rich fuckboy shred apart the democracy they swore to protect and defend. Endlessly, I returned to the Democrats, who sat through 90 minutes of a man laying out his plan to dismantle our nation, going against every moral fiber the supposed founding fathers fought to uphold and listed so in the U.S. Constitution. This is no longer the oligarchy I have been trying to warn people of. It has manifested and arrived with the serpent's kiss. Where the Dems fail is their lack of online trolls railing against the Trump administration. If he wants to govern on X, then he should rightfully be bullied in the same manner from the left. No elected official thus far has effectively busted his balls, besides Bernie, who, take him or leave him, reminds us that we have power. He reminds us these people live within self-manifested delusions and get their rocks off on power and control. Right now, World War II veterans are rolling over in their grave at 7,000 RPM. The horror watching this all unfold quite unhinged at best, leaving the many stranded on a sea of confusion, their nervous systems being shocked daily to the core. Western media tends to yield what is seemingly orchestrated levels of fear. Those of us who can't walk away from the daily car crash unfolding are being tamed like a snake charmer to take no action, keeping us feeling powerless, voiceless, hopeless. I think that's their whole prerogative. Unlikely TV news outlets are at all-time highs. What rots my brain about these brutes is their inability to access any form of empathy. A room full of people exists in America right now, cheering like headless chickens, are all members of government, and is maybe the greatest tragedy this nation has ever faced. I have long predicted the second fall of Rome, yet I did not expect in my life that I would live through any of it. So here we are, writing for the walls in a movie about a mental hospital on in the background. How utterly fitting. In closing, I remind myself, the biggest impact I can make in my community in these times is being kind to strangers. You can tell now, even at the grocery store and the post office, things are tense. I can only imagine how crazy the survivalists are going right now. At any rate, I think enough has been said on the matter. However, would like to echo Bernie Sanders' reminder that for true change in the country, it's got to come from those of us to organize in what is keeping America so stagnant, with no real aggressions taken or no countrywide uproar. As he reminded us, it is up to us to climb out of our phones and turn off the news and get organized. History is a circle. Now is the time of a strong need for those petitioning for a better future to leave our youth, to take action in any form, big or small. It could be as simple as a phone call or a pre-prompted email to flood a representative's inbox. Mainly though, look out for your neighbors and be kind to those in your community. At the end of the day, that is the only realm in which we truly have any form of control.